Hi everyone, Jewel here with your tropical update, and as of today, Tuesday, the 2nd day of June 2020, we have our third tropical system that's named. Here is Cristobal. Now, the winds are up to 40 miles per hour. The pressure is 1,004 millibars. If you're tracking, it's at 19.2 north, 92.8 west. It's moving slow at 3 miles per hour to the southwest. Now, that's a sign when they move slow, they could gain more strength. When they kind of speed up, that's a good sign that they will die down soon. But we have a lot of things to discuss in this. Will it become a hurricane or will it not? Well, let's check out some more things and I'll tell you what I think is going to go on. Now we have the tracking map, as you can see, and all around the borders here, where you see the blue, this is the tropical storm warning area. Now, in time, it's going to be later on in the week. I told you yesterday in the last update, it was going to be tomorrow or Thursday before we exactly might be able to pin down where this really might come in. Now, it is moving up to the northern area. It's going to move up in that area. And they did send out an Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft just a little earlier, and they found that this system is very close to tropical storm status, which it is now. That's what they found when they came back. It had reached it. It does have a name, and it's looking like, since the cyclone is over very warm waters, fairly low vertical shear is going to intensify this much more than it is at the moment. Doesn't mean it might not intensify later, okay? It's looking like now there's going to be some shear in the system it's going to encounter over the northern Gulf of Mexico, and how much is a little bit uncertain. So we're going to check out the shear wind for the next 72 hours and see what that is looking like also. Now, many things are going on. It's looking like this cyclone is going to be trapped between two mid-level anticyclonic areas until later in the week. That's why it's going to meander around, as you can see right in here. It's going to get trapped, okay? And what's going to happen later in the week, when some of this southerly flow begins to carry the system, the southerly flow is what's going to move this northward, okay? The southerly flow wind. That's what's going to move it in the northern part of the Gulf of Mexico. Now, I like to check tracking models as well as every other model, and it seems to me that the TVCN does an excellent job. Over the last several years, it's one of the better ones. But before we get on to that, let's go check out something else. From the National Hurricane Center right in here, I want to stress this to everybody. As Cristobal is forecast to move slowly, as we've seen, 3 miles per hour southwestward or southward through tonight. We saw how it's going to meander. I told you why over the Bay of Campeche. It should remain there until at least late tomorrow. Late tomorrow night. I'm thinking possibly it could even be there Thursday before it starts to move. So please keep this in mind as it meanders around. Also, hazards for Cristobal. Man, this thing is full of rain, folks. It's expected to produce total rain accumulations of 10 to 20 inches with isolated maximum amounts of 25 inches over parts of the Mexican states. As you can see, all of them right here, Tabasco, Veracruz, Campeche. Now, this depression is also expected to produce total rainfall accumulations of 10 to 15 inches over northern areas of other Mexico states, as you can see, right on up to Yucatan. Then additional rain of 10 to 15 inches with isolated amounts of 25 inches is expected along the Pacific coast all the way up to El Salvador, Guatemala, all of these areas. Look, folks, it's going to be much rain over this weekend. Storm total amounts, 35 inches are possible. Do you see that? This is going to cause flash flooding, mudslides, you name it. If you're in these areas, please take heed, be safe, and stay in. Okay? So please, right now, you see all of this rain coming. And also, when it does reach the U.S., it looks like it is going to be a rainmaker. And we could have some wind, I think probably within the next 4.5 days. Maybe not quite that late, might even be a little sooner. The winds will pick up to 65 miles per hour. That's not hurricane, but that's a very high-end tropical storm. Now at this time, the National Hurricane Center is using all of the global models. And here are all of the global models for this particular storm. You know, I like this one here as I talk about TVCN. Well, here it is right here. As you can see, it moves right up where I showed you just yesterday. Right in between Louisiana and Texas, right in this area. We have just one going over to Florida. Well, I'll take that back. We have two. We have two going over, one in the Panhandle, one more in the northern section, moving over Georgia in this area. We have two over Alabama. We have one over Mississippi. And then we have 1, 2, 3 that's going to come up in this area here. Okay? So, with all that said and done, I'm going to show you why I think it is going to come up in here. And remember, it's going to get trapped. It's going to get trapped. You can see it doing all this stuff down here. But once it gets up here and does get in land, it's going to get trapped again. Please remember, all of this can change. Next update might be something different. Sorry about the phone ringing, folks, but anyway, here we go with the intensity model, and this is we only have one ship model. This is a ship, okay? That has it going up to hurricane category. All the rest of them stay within the tropical storm areas. Some of them doesn't even have it there, but yes, it's already a tropical storm, okay? And if you look really close over here, when this one starts to dip down, when it starts to die, right up here, it dips down again as it is a tropical storm right up here like it is right now. So see, it's going to go through a lot of changes. We're just going to have to watch it. So let's continue. Now as we look at the wind shear model, this is the WRF model for upper wind shear. This is off my Fox Hurricane right in here. Everywhere in this really dark blue or lighter blue areas, these are anywhere from 25 to 35 mile per hour wind shear gust, okay? When you see this green, this is all the way up to 45, possibly 50. This only runs, as you see, for 72 hours. I'm going to turn it on, let it roll through. It's not going to reach any kind of land around the Gulf Coast until probably later this weekend. In the latter part. So we have 72 hours here. You can see really strong 45 to 50 mile per hour shear winds in here. But here it is right here. It's kind of meandering around. It's not going to get in that really tough. It's in about 30, 35 shear winds right. But see, it starts to break a little bit as it moves through. We're up to 50 hours now. We'll stop it when it gets to 72 hours and we'll see what it looks like exactly. Because it's just meandering around the areas of Mexico there. Now, here we go at 72 hours. Most of the heavier shear wind will be breaking away, and it looks like it's going to go up this way around it. Now, will it beat this big area of shear wind? And it still has shear wind to go through. So that's going to have a whole lot to do with how much this intensifies. The biggest thing that's going to make a play and where it may go and who may get what is our low pressures and high pressure systems. Okay, folks, here we go. Once again, I'm going to say, no one knows where this is going to go yet. Everybody from Texas over here in Florida, right around this area, all the way around, you need to pay attention. Please. It's going to be late tomorrow or Thursday before it can actually have a chance to be pinned down as to where it will go. But personally, I think I already have an idea of where it may go because of the systems. We all know it can wobble anywhere around as it's doing, but right now at 4 p.m., this is the European model. You can see it right down here. It's got some vorticity. It's spinning around and everything is getting organized. So, where is it on the GFS at this time? Totally different place. It won't look the same, but some of this is in agreement and some of it isn't. See how it looks right here? Doesn't look quite as well formed. Looks like some of the showers have gathered in those little jars a little better. But it doesn't look like the same storm at all, does it? But we'll check both of these models out, as well as I've already checked some others out. So, let's move up to Saturday around 9 a.m. Here we go. It's beginning to move on out now, as it did on the National Hurricane Center chart. As we saw it just a little earlier ago, you can see right in here it is moving up. Winds in it at this time, sustained winds. The highest is right around the center of circulation, which is looking like sustained winds are 45 miles per hour. Now, does it have any higher wind gust at this time? I'm sure it does. Wherever you see this blue, that's higher wind gust. We'll check over here. That's 49 mile per hour wind gust, but right around that center, it's higher, 68 mile per hour wind gusts. Now, that's getting on up there, folks. Not hurricane strength yet. 74 miles per hour. That would be hurricane strength. But it has much, much rain in it. So, this is Saturday once again, around between 6 and 10 a.m. Let's move it up to around 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. Where is it? It kind of bounces back. Now, it's going to bring rain probably over on the western coast of Florida. I don't think the wind will be that bad, and as you can see up in the Panhandle, you're going to get rain, rain, rain. We're going to have to wait and see if it does make this progression, if these systems that I've seen keep it the way it's looking now, but we will bring this up a little bit. And I'll bring it over here so you can see a little better. I do want to make note, this is the European model. Let's click over to the GFS model, and it has most of the rain going up here in parts of the Florida Panhandle, just west of Tallahassee, and over in Mobile, Alabama. But, and of course New Orleans. I really think though, folks, it could go anywhere, like I've said. That's why I'm telling everybody, you need to watch this, okay? From right in here, down around Tallahassee, all the way across, up in these areas. I don't think it's going to go down into the Corpus Christi area as much as it looked like it might. But let's just make this a little bigger right now. I want you to see exactly the center of circulation, as you can see it, and where this is. Now we're going to move up to around 5 p.m. Sunday. At this time, the center of circulation still has not come ashore. Very heavy rain in some of these quadrants. We'll check the wind. This is wind, regular sustained winds, okay? The highest of those are looking like they're going to be around 39 miles per hour. course, when you get closer to the center, they could be a little higher at 42 miles per hour. What about wind gust at this point? The heaviest and strongest wind gust is going to be wherever the center of circulation goes, okay? 68 mile per hour wind gust is what it's looking like. Now, it still hasn't come on land anywhere at this time, but up around Lafayette, this is 48 mile per hour wind gust. Still doesn't look like wind that you're not used to, that you can't handle, but see, it's still a ways away. Now, we'll come over here to 11 p.m. on Sunday. Still hanging around. This is what's so bad. Remember how Harvey did? It just hung around and bounced around and hung around. Well, I think this one will try to do the same thing. We have a low pressure system later on that is going to finally pull it on up, though. We will go to around 6 a.m. on Monday, and there it is. Let's back up just a little bit, see if we can see where it may hit. And let's put the rain bands on so you can see this thing. See, it's going to stretch out a long, long way. You can see all of this rain. Still hadn't quite made it on land around 1 a.m. Monday. So we'll have to move it up just a hair here. Probably to around 5 a.m. And it's looking like, here's the center of circulation right here. And this is just a little bit north of Beaumont, Texas then. We'll put it up just a little bit more here. Bring it on down so you can see some of these areas. That's why Cameron and Beaumont, I'm really thinking it may make landfall anywhere in this area here. Okay? Anywhere coming up in these areas here. And there is that possibility it could be a little further to the east. Houston, you can see the rain bands coming in off of this for you. But so far, I'm going to bring it down now. So far as very severe rain, like I've just told you about Mexico is having, I don't think it'll be quite that bad. We'll have to wait and see because so much can happen. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, but do make sure you are ready for whatever may come your way. This is a tropical storm now. It is going to intensify. I think the winds may get up to 65 miles per hour before it's over. It's too far out on any of these models to give you any correct wind when it gets closer up to the U.S. or anything else. These are just estimates. It could be much worse. It could be less worse. This is just a good idea to go by. Now, when we bring this down a little bit more like this, I want to show you this little sucker does not want to give it up. I'm going to turn on the pressure gradient. If it will come on right quick. And here you can see what I've been trying to explain to you. High pressure over here. That's what is pushing, keeping this thing meandering around and taking it so long to finally make a landfall. And then we have a low pressure here and over in here. And as we just turn this on and let it roll through, you are going to see. Now remember, this is our storm right here. This is Cristobal right here. You see how it's being encapsulated by this low pressure system over here? See how it's kind of got encapsulated by it as it moves through? This is what it's looking like. Now, we're all the way up now to Tuesday. And see, it just don't want to give it up. It's one heck of a low pressure indeed. I don't want to go into the winds and all that, but look at those very heavy rain bands. Very heavy rain bands. Over Arkansas, we got some heavy rain coming down over around the western Tennessee area, down around Memphis. It moves on up Wednesday, all the way up into Illinois. Can you see this? It's going to bounce on over probably to Pennsylvania with this rain. Look at these rain bands moving through. So, It could have some wind gusts with it, could keep things a little windy, but it's going to get sucked up by that other low pressure, and then it's just going to carry on as it moves on through next Thursday, as you can see, moving right on up north here before it gets out to sea. So, folks, yes, we have Cristobal. I cannot stress enough for all of the people down around in the Mexico area and all of these areas here. You folks, bless your hearts, you're going to get tons and tons of more rain through the next 3 days. Please do the best you can and stay safe. It does look like it's going to track up. According to the models that I have looked up in this area, now the National Hurricane Center does have it a little further to the west than what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking somewhere right around in this area is where it might wind up. Only time will tell. I'll be back with another update for you. In the meantime, be ready, folks, and I'm talking anywhere around this coastline of the Gulf. Make sure you got everything ready in case it comes your way. Peace, love, and kindness to each and every one of you. Have a good evening, a safe evening, and a blessed evening. Thank you for watching.